What's up, everybody? It's your girl, it's me, baby 101. Welcome back to my channel. I know I've been gone so long and I wanted to switch things up. This is my first really interactive talking video with you guys for 2016. It's going to be a great year, and I just thank you guys for all the support and love that I got in 2015, and hopefully we can grow our channel and keep growing our happy little family. Okay, so today I wanted to do something a little bit different. I see a lot of story times floating around on YouTube, and I thought I'd share a few. I'm just going to do one and see how it kind of goes, but I'm going to be honest with you. I go on adventures, and like nobody would believe the type of things that I get into sometimes. But you know, I'm older now, and these are some tales from back in the day that you just be like, Rhonda, really? But I'm going to go ahead and share something that is also important. The story, if you can't tell by the title already, is about an abusive ex. I was so young when I went through all of the things that I was going through, and I didn't have anybody to talk to about it. So I hope that I can help somebody out. It was crazy, and we could just start from the beginning because I hope it don't take a long time, but I have to go through everything for you guys, so you guys will know just how crazy it all was. So this had to have been literally maybe a month after I graduated high school. In high school, I never had a boyfriend. Everybody said, well, all the guys told my twin that I was mean, and I really wasn't mean. I just, you know, when you walk in and you think you smiling but you mugging the whole time, that was me pretty much 24/7 every day of school. So like during the 4 years of high school, I didn't have a boyfriend. So I didn't even date until after high school, and it had a lot to do with my dad because I was scared of him, and I didn't want I didn't know what I wanted. You know, when you're young, you just don't really know. So literally a week after, this is embarrassing a little bit. Literally a week after high school, I met somebody online, and no one ever told me. No, I mean, back then it wasn't common to date online, but it also, you know, didn't. Well, honestly, it probably wouldn't have been something you led with when you talk to people. Oh, I met him on Craigslist or whatever. So I'm not gonna name this. I'm not gonna name the site, but I was on this site, met this guy, and he seemed very charming. And we just, you know, in the South, it ain't no dating. It's like, oh, I like you, you like me, let's just talk. And I was 18. He was, ooh, child, I think he was 22 or 21 or 23. It was one of those ages. He was up there. He was a lot older than I was. And we just started talking, you know, the type of things that a guy that age or any age wants from you. Then I wasn't willing to give up because I was a virgin at that particular time. I wasn't because I hadn't dated anybody, I was really green. I didn't know anything, and I didn't know, I wasn't comfortable talking about sex, and I wasn't comfortable with anybody touching on me. Like, I honestly had not, like, I was in the growth stage. Like, it wasn't like I wanted a boyfriend, but I was too scared to be with somebody. So eventually me and him kind of fizzled out, and I stopped talking to him. But before I stopped talking to him, I met somebody else, and oh my God, I'm a country girl. He was from New Orleans, and I remember this because he had a really sexy accent. And a lot of people that know people from New Orleans, they say, hey baby, oh, that look just turned my life around, girl. Really in love with him. Okay, I sing, he sings, he plays instruments. He was protective, but in a way that I should have been alarmed then. You know, in the beginning, there's always signs, there's always red flags going off that you don't ever see because you're so infatuated. I was really infatuated. I wasn't in love with him at that particular time. I started to notice things. I remember, you know, when you're young, like, I remember I was a hothead. I really was. And I'm not talking to him to tell him that I'm about to do something. I'm venting to him. And he took it as if, you know, he had the bail money on deck. He was like, if you go to jail. No, he didn't even say that. He said, if you fight her. Because I remember this might have been like maybe 3 to 4 weeks into talking to him. He was like, if you fight this girl that you're talking about, if you even tell me you're going to, I'm driving up there and I got your bail money. Girl, I was like, he is down for the cause. But no, I'm not going to touch her. So, I mean, that should have been kind of a flag, but I didn't think of anything of it. I just thought he was being, oh, that's sweet. He's being really protective. And then slowly but surely, he started to get mad over little things like, I'm sorry. Because some of the things, I look back like, girl, what were you doing? He used to get mad about, like, I didn't have a car when I was 18. I had to catch the bus. So, I was on the bus one day, and he was like, so you ride the bus? I said, yeah, I got to get to school. And he got so mad, and I couldn't understand why he was mad. I'm like, I mean, you should be happy. I'm not, you know, running up behind any guy to catch a ride with him. I'm kind of doing this by myself. You know, my dad was a single parent, and he raised 3 girls by himself. And he had his hands all the way. Yeah, he just used to get really mad over like really dumb things, which, you know, slowly but surely I was starting to really figure that out. And I remember I had just graduated, so I was getting ready to go to college, and I was preparing for my first year. And the more I start to prepare to go to college, the tighter and tighter his grip around me was. Like, he just show up sometimes, and it was so scary because I couldn't tell my dad, because my dad would have just had like a heart attack. He would have killed me and then killed him, or killed him first and then killed me. I didn't want to tell him that I met somebody crazy online, because he would have been so disappointed in me. And like, and then at the time, I'm just gonna say his name was Michael. He used to make really threatening, he used to say really threatening things about my family and about me, you know, when things didn't go his way. Like, sometimes he'd hang up in my face. Sometimes he'd be really, really, really sweet. And then other times he just would be like, I can knock all the guys in your family out with one punch because I'm a boxer. Who knows how much of all of that was really true, because, you know, sometimes, you know, at that point I had never like met him. So like, I was really gullible too. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I was gullible, and I believed everything he told me because I was that type of person. Like, well, why would he lie about that? So I remember this one time, like, slowly but surely things started to escalate to a point where I was no longer comfortable, but I was too scared to break it off with him because I knew that he was gonna do something crazy, because he just kept showing up sometimes. And I was just scared because I thought my dad was going to find out. So this one time, I don't know what happened. He called me, and we were at home that day, and I was getting ready to move into a dorm room. And he was like, I have $5,000 in my pocket. I was like, well, yeah, you. He was like, no, let's move. I'm taking you to Georgia. I said, you taking me to Georgia? I said, okay. Well, when we coming back? He said, we're not coming back. And at that time, my spidey sense was going off. I was like, oh, you bet you done it now. You done got yourself killed. I was just thinking about it before it happened. And I was trying to be really calm because I didn't want to alarm him to where, because he knew where I lived. I didn't want him to be like, I'm driving up there right now. So I was calm. And I was like, well, you know, I can't because I have to go to school. And he was like, you don't have to go to school. I said, well, I don't know anybody in Atlanta. He was like, you don't need to know anybody in Atlanta but me. Pause. If somebody ever tells you that, then your spidey sense should be at full force, and you should know that this person ain't for me. Okay? Because nobody you love or that loves you will ever take you away from somebody, away from a comfortable situation into, you know, something that won't be comfortable. Because he had a house, that's what he said. He had a townhouse in Atlanta. At any point in time, could kick my ass out, and I would have just been stranded in Atlanta. No car, no way to get to anybody. He could have really put his hands on me. So when he said that to me, it was red flags, flare guns, all of the above. You know, that little chart they came out with when 9/11 happened, where then you have green, you're kind of safe, yellow, and then there's red. You know what I'm saying? We was in the red right there. So I was just like, yo, this is it. So, like, I don't know how I got him off the phone, but I thought that I was rid of him forever, and I just wasn't. Like, I remember one day I was sleeping. Thank goodness that weekend, like, we had to stop talking, because he would come and go out of my life, and I really loved him. What I loved about him, I can't tell you, because I have no clue. But I really loved him. So we were in and out of each other. Every time I felt disrespected, I felt like I had to say something, but I also felt stupid because I felt like I should handle this. You know, the first guy I was telling you about, he was 22, 21, and this guy I'm telling you about, he was 23, 24. So he was so much more older than me, and the way he talked was degraded. It made me feel really bad about myself. He was childish, but I've never been in a real relationship. The first guy, I didn't even give him a chance. I wasn't in a real relationship. I didn't know what love was. I thought that was love. So I let him talk to me crazy. But this one time, I went out of town for Bible class, and I was actually in his city, and I didn't tell him, because I didn't want to see him. I didn't want him to show up where I was, because then, you know, the cat's out the bag, Rhonda, you've been talking to somebody quite dangerous, because he just didn't have a filter. So I didn't know what he was going to do. But that weekend, he called me and was like, I'm in Monroe. That's where I'm from. I was like, okay, well, I'm not there. I'm somewhere else. Like, even though I was telling the truth, but I was about to tell him that I'm in your city, so he can shoot back to my city and then be really angry with me for not telling him. Even though I wasn't with him, I just felt like I had to be open and honest with him. And I gave him so much more than he deserved. So, child, when he told me that, like, every hair on my body stood up, and I was like, oh, okay. He said, well, I'm not gonna come see you. Like, he'd do little things like that, like teasing me, because he knew I loved him. So he played with my emotions a bit, because he knew I loved him. But, you know, slowly but surely, at that rate, I was kind of already over it, because I was just like, I can't believe you just show up to, I mean, he's done it before, you know what I'm saying? But when you think you moved on from this person, they come back into your life and they're all sweet and I'm sweet and gentle with you and stuff like that, when it's just a trick. He was like, we're gonna go get married. And at that point in time, I was like, oh, I'm thinking future. I'm not thinking right now. And he's thinking right now, tomorrow. And when I told him I couldn't marry him, and let me mind you, this isn't a proposal on one knee, flowers everywhere. This was over the phone. And he was like, we're gonna get married tomorrow. And I'm like, I'm 19. I can't marry you. I can't. And he had a whole baby. I couldn't marry him, because I was like, I'm still trying to figure out what it is you do when you get your boyfriend. I'm not trying to be a wife to somebody. I don't even know how to be a wife at that time. So, looking back on that whole entire situation, I actually dodged a whole entire bullet. And I'm going to tell you why. Because had I, a huge entire bullet, had I did everything that he told me to do or wanted me to do, I'd probably be dead by now. And it's not an exaggeration. Like, I was so naive, but I know there was divine intervention, because I wasn't telling anybody, and it wouldn't have been nothing nobody could have done, because the only people that knew about it was my friends and my twin. And they thought I was crazy, because they was like, oh, he's imaginary, because they had never seen him before. I'm like, no, he's real. So yeah, the moral and the reason why I told that story first was because there's so many women, younger girls that just don't know what to do. They don't know what love look like. They don't know what it feels like, and they are going off of what good times they have with this person. And let me tell you something. No, ma'am. I remember talking to my best friend's mother about this particular guy, and she said, run as fast as you can, because anybody that wants to take you away from your comfort zone, your loved ones, and tells you don't need anybody else in a strange place, they don't mean good for you, and they don't want anything good for you at all. Could have turned out very different. I could have been locked up, strung out, pimped, all of that, you know. I don't know, because I was just really... And then right after him, he made me feel so unwanted and ugly and fat. I was not fat then. He made me feel all of those things, and I fell into, like, I think one of the first depressions I've ever had. And it was horrible, because I wasn't focused on what I should have been focused on. It wasn't none of that. I was thinking about, you know, having a boyfriend, because that was something I really wanted, because I never had it before, which may sound stupid, because it is stupid. But I had been alone all those years in high school and didn't have anybody, and I just wanted somebody. But I wanted somebody to love me. I wanted the hearts and flowers. I wanted all of those things that I still didn't get with him. And then every guy after him was horrible. Then I met my husband. And my husband was not the person that I thought I was going to be with, because we were going in two different directions. But you can't fight what's meant to be. And we were meant to be. And he was the perfect gentleman, he was the perfect gentleman, and he waited for me. And I can't stress enough what love feels and looks like. It doesn't make you feel ugly, fat, stupid, does not hit you. I'm 110% convinced that if we were actually living in the same city, then it would have been a different story. Like, I would have been a battered woman physically, because I was already one mentally, and I was so young and impressionable. So I just wanted to dedicate that to all the people that are actually going through that. Don't get discouraged. Stay focused, and you'll find out what real love is when you're meant to find your real love. One thing I can say is, don't go looking for it, because it'll definitely find you, because that love is for you and nobody else. So I didn't mean to get all serious, but I feel like I can get a little bit personal with you guys. I've known you guys for a few years now. So, and to my new subscribers, thank you for checking out my channel and joining the family. And if you like what you see, give this video a big thumbs up. And if you like to see more videos like this and more personal videos, let me know, and I'll be happy to do that for you. Until next time, peace.